No, you have both earrings, and you're wearing a
Good
very...
morning, everybody. Welcome to the Meta Cafe for your daily astrology, tarot, and human design. I'm sitting here this morning with Jason Livanis on a very wonderful Monday.
Crazy.
I know he hates it when I'm chipper on Monday. I'm sure he hates it.
Crazy Monday. No. Just over here. Crazy morning for me waking up. Mixed bag. I did a video yesterday, and I made the mistake, and I'll get into the light so people can see, of using some makeup that I had an allergic reaction to. Now I look like I'm packing for Paris. Full trunk. And I mean watering and all that. But anyway, it was funny. So I'm dealing with that, and then I get up. My sister's like, sitting in the what do you call it, living room this morning, and she's that typical Greek Italian leftover that they're going to tell you horrible things in the morning, first thing off the bat, because we do that as human beings. Fascination of the abomination. Goes, terrorist attack, and I hadn't even said morning. Terrorist attack in New York City, Times Square. I'm like, morning.
I thought it was on a subway or something or another, or something. I don't know.
On 8th Avenue and Broadway. Anyway, basically, right outside Port Authority, where that's how I would go inside and outside of New York my entire time.
Oh, okay. So, I wish we...
Like a puppy.
Poor baby. Poor baby. Good morning, Natasha. Good morning, Katie. Good morning, Roseanne. I hope everybody's doing well this morning. Jason, I was really fascinated by something on Friday, but it was Friday afternoon, and there was no way to share it with everybody. But you know how every time it seems like there's been a Mercury retrograde over the last few months, there is some kind of train derailment in New Jersey.
Yep.
And I'll be danged if there wasn't another one on Friday in New Jersey.
I thought about that.
Remember, we did that show. We did that on the radio. We talked about it. And every time it seems that there's a Mercury retrograde, something goes dreadfully wrong with the train system in New Jersey specific. So it'd be interesting if I can find New Jersey's birth chart, if you will, then maybe we can, do a study. I don't know if there's any worth in doing that. Good morning, Sharon K. Nice to talk to you. So it's just kind of interesting to see astrology in action, and the next Mercury retrograde won't be until March. So New Jersey, if you're listening, get your shit together and get your trains on the rails the right way before the next one happens.
For you to say, living out there in some bumfuck peninsula.
Yeah, on some island, in the West where we have issues too, like the island is falling into the sea. But
I don't believe a word of the bitching, folks. If you see just one picture, you will gag. It is magical where Janet lives.
It is, but there's lots of magical places around the country. You know what? And I love to do that. I love looking at people's magical pictures of their homes or of the places they visit. That's one of the few reasons I really like Facebook, is seeing people's pictures. The political stuff gets a little trying, but certainly their landscapes and their pictures are awesome. Their baby pictures, their grandkids' pictures. It's fun. So what kind of a week can we expect? Well, some interesting things happened over the weekend. Number one, the moon was in Virgo almost the whole entire weekend, and I got so much stuff done. It was amazing. And then, my bad, I forgot that Mercury also rules Virgo, and I sent out I combined two of my email lists into one. Only the email program decided that because I did that, it needed to send out the welcome email series to 482 people on the list. And so imagine my surprise when people like our friend Tom from Canada said, well, thank you for the welcome, but I already have my chart. I went, what are you talking about, Tom? And he tells me what happened, and I went, oh my God. Oh my God. So if you happen to be a listener out there and you get an email from me saying, thank you for requesting your chart, it was a gremlin. It was Mercury being bad. It was not, I had nothing to do with it. All I did was combine an email list. And of course, people are mean. Some people are just downright mean. Oh. And they'll send stupid emails back to you like, I didn't request a chart. Okay, I get it. Yeah, it's one more piece of email that maybe you didn't really want to listen to, so read or anything. Or maybe the spirit of the email is that you're just informing me. I don't know that, but it sounds mean when you say that. And
Let me,
anyway, so I'm
let me
sorry
tell
if you
you,
receive it.
let me tell you the fucked up psychology behind that. People from that generation are used to physical mail, snail mail. It's, protected by the Constitution, and you don't mess with it, or you go to law, you go to jail, and they take your teeth out and they string you up. Like that little tag on the mattress. You take that tag off the mattress, those people are coming for you.
The tag police.
You understand? Now,
I do.
that generation of letter people then went into a someone's got to make you laugh, lady. That whole generation of snail mail people went into this thing called email. So now they didn't have something physical to be territorial. I'm going to get the mail. Ooh, look, have you got the mail? Yes, I've got the mail. It's in my hand, the mail. Now it's this thing. So they were, and so I know that there's a certain sect of people that are very protective over their emails. Like, God forbid they should get junk mail. And you're kind of like, oh, that's the same thing when those people had beepers and wouldn't get a cell phone. That was me. So,
Yeah, I know. But you know what? If it's not like I send out vast quantities of emails. If I did and you were annoyed by that, that would make sense to me. But I haven't sent out a mass email since July. So people, if you've gotten the email from me and it's been since July since you heard from me, maybe something did go wrong, right? Or maybe it's just, a Mercury retrograde moment, and that's what it was. But other than that, I got a lot of work done, and I was really appreciative of that full moon, just any moon in Virgo. So today we start out at midnight-ish, your time. The moon moved out of Virgo and into Libra. So now we have a different energy that starts out our week and imbues us with teamwork, the spirit of groupness for today and tomorrow. Take a diplomatic approach to solving problems rather than, being an I will solve this problem kind of thing. Um, Try to keep a balanced perspective for the next couple of days, because there's nothing worse than a Libra out of balance. Trust me, I've had two of them in my life, and I live with one on a daily basis. And when he's in the ugly side of that Libra scale, like when it's like this and not like this, I pay the price. So try to keep everything in perspective, try to keep everything balanced and kind and gentle. There's no need to, berate people and beat up on people. That is not the way. But there's one little fly in the ointment that might make me saying this first very important, and that is the fact that over the weekend Mars moved out of Libra, where it has been sort of teaching us about that, the value of being kind and generous, being team-oriented. And he has moved now into Scorpio, where the energy shifts dramatically because Scorpio is a sign that Mars rules. And so now we have drive and we have focus to get what we want. And that means if you're someone who's very intense and very passionate about something, the tendency may be to step or walk over people to get what you want. And you don't have to be that way. You just know that things will come to you.
Yeah, let me
because you're passionate about it, you're focused on it.
Let me synthesize it for people. Just don't be a douche. Don't be a douche. How simple is that? Everything you said is, no, I'm like, yeah, don't be a douche. Yeah, don't be a douche. Basically,
don't be a douche. This is a great time this week or for the next few weeks, for feeling the emotional depths of something, feeling deeply into something. And God help me, the world may be a little more attracted, as if we haven't been already, attracted to crisis and trauma drama. And there's a reason for that, people. It's that sometimes by witnessing our ability to witness crisis and transformation, we get to see how the big wheels of change are taking us in a direction. And oh my God, tell me that's not the card for the day.
Yeah. But you said, but hang on. You were talking about feeling the depths of Uranus. What were you saying about feeling?
I didn't say anything about that. I said feeling the depths of change and transformation.
And I, this card always, I see people get fucked up over the devil card or like the tower card. And I'm just kind of like,
Power.
really? Really? I'll take those over this any day. I'll take
Let me take the comments out. Hold that card up
it's
for a
hard
second
because I
longer
got
here.
direct light today. So
Yeah, see, he's being skewered by, what is that, 10 swords?
yeah.
10 swords skewering him.
Swords.
Swords. So tell us what that means and what do we need to do about it?
That's a great question. This card is deep because sometimes the cards focus just on a mental anguish or a physical anguish or a spiritual anguish. This is you're fucked. And what do I mean by that?
Is this like Dark Night of the Soul kind of thing?
This is the how can you possibly keep going if you have 10 swords stuck through you? You have gotten to a place, or the energy has gotten to a place where it's maximum density stuff. Like, you can't move left, you can't move right. And what tells me that this is a spiritual card is because underneath there is a drapery of red. And this drapery of red always signifies the certain shrouds that have been throughout history. The Shroud of Turin, the shroud behind the Virgin Mary and all of the different depictions. But this shroud is red and it's burgundy. It's a red, black, and it is passion. It is pure spirit. This card is asking you, before you go any further today, to do a kind of self-evaluation that is objective, pragmatic, and sincere. It is only with this objectivity. I just did a video for you discussing the 11 card, but you cannot get to the 11 card. You cannot get to love. You cannot get to love unless you get to objectivity first. And doesn't that sound backwards? Doesn't that sound backwards? Like you should be imbued with ever so much more love. But unfortunately, it is not how the dynamic works. It is only through this observational technique. So this card, this 10 of Swords, really is hearkening back to this idea that you're only going to get through it with love. It is born from those cards, this card. And I see this card and I get sad because it is the kind of self-impalement that people are doing to themselves.
So this hasn't been done to him. This has been, he's engaged in the behaviors that have created this for him.
Yes. And what's horrible about it is that he's levitated. So let's see what Natasha. I wonder if Natasha has like a pet by the name of Boris. But anyway, so what is she saying? It looks like, thank you, Janet.
Looks like the planet. Libra will help us practice with the next year's theme. In Chinese, it's the year of the dog. It's the 11-2 numeral of the year, working together. Working together for enlightenment, even, because if you follow the line of the 11 brings us to enlightenment. I love it. Thank you, Natasha, for sharing that with us.
And of course,
and Suzanne.
So how do I spin that card, Janet? I mean, it really, there are some times where you just have to tell people, you're not going to progress. You're not going to go forward with your existential crisis today unless you stop and take those swords out.
Unpin yourself from the board.
Very rarely, if ever, unless we are in a jail cell, are we ever stuck. Most of those jails
Well,
are in.
the interesting thing is, and the really good news is it's a card for the day. It's not like for the year. It's not a card it's not an energy that's going to keep you pinned in like that forever. And I think ultimately, remember, I told everybody on Friday that the last moon aspect was going to be to that of Chiron. And that was for the weekend, which is about our wound and healing. So maybe this is the last thing people need to understand before they can unplug and move toward healing and out of the wound. So to me,
yeah,
it's not a pretty card. But
this is kind of how I'm looking at it. Like, the universe is basically splayed out a week for you. And you get to your desk, your spiritual desk on Monday morning, and there's this memo. And this is like, okay, you cannot move forward in this department unless you take care of this. That's what this memo is this morning. So you're being given a great opportunity to look at some of your shit, sit in meditation, figure it out. And at that point, deal with it with love. So that being said, I don't have much else for you today. Do you have something?
I do. I have one more aha that came to me this morning while I was deciding if I was going to do something with my hair or just shove it up in a bun. I would bet not most people know this because I'm not sure I even really thought about this too much. But when I say the word, when I tell you about the energy of joy, a lot of you out there, including myself, I even was thinking about this. It feels to me like it's an emotion.
What time is it?
Would you agree? Would you think of that way too, Jason? That if I'm expressing joy or feeling joy, that it's an emotional thing?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, guess what? Joy does not live on the emotional center. In human design, if we switch to that mode for a moment, the gate of joy is down in the root center. The root center is the place of format energies. It forms the basis of who we are as a human being. So that tells me that joy, because it's not on the emotional center, which, as you know, you and I have talked about this ad nauseum, the emotional center is like up and down because emotions are waves.
Yes.
It's on the root center, which tells us it is our natural state of beingness. And anytime that you are not in joy, you are being conditioned by the energies around you. Because human beings' natural state of joy, it's a very foundational gate. It's a foundational energy, the energy of joy. So let me leave that with everybody today, is that your foundation is that in joy. And if you're feeling pinned in by swords through your body, you've somehow strayed in your head, most likely, away from that energy of joy. Get back to joy. That's what this season's all about, reminding us that it's about joy, right? Christmas Day, the sun is in the state of joy.
I love to jump for joy. However, I think her back gets a little tired after a while.
Okay, so, and Roseanne is reminding us that her word for the year is joy.
Yes. All right, I got a chiropractor.
We'll have fun at the chiropractor. We love you all. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and we'll see you tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Take care. Bye, Jason.
Mwah.
Mwah.